Why, hello and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I'm your host and guide, Zollin Ironshield, and today we're doing a LOTRO guide. And I had a request by someone, and they asked me to do a 101 guide, you know, 101 for dummies kind of thing. So, but I'm gonna call this video 101 for newbies. All right, so if you're new to LOTRO, we're gonna do that. Again, I know there's a book series called 101 for dummies, but I don't know, it just seems pretty, a little cruel. So 101 for newbies, my friend. So welcome, I'll do my best to help you out. I've got all advanced videos on guides as well, but what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna talk you through some of the stuff if you're brand new to the game. Okay, so you've installed the game. You've gone to the login screen, which is that small square that appears, right, with your name and login information. When you click enter, it is going to give you an option of servers. This is where you'll choose your server. There'll be a list of names. If you'd like to play with us and join my kinship on Lord of the Rings Online here, Voice of the Rings kinship, you will have to join the server Crick Hollow. And there are also some other great servers. Arkenstone is a good one. Landreval. There's a bunch of very populated servers. So it's like 5 or 6. You can look them up. Again, a big help for my 101 for dummies here, also for newbies to LOTRO, I should say, is the LOTRO wiki, which I'll have a link down there for you as well. But let's talk you through it. So you're on here, you have no characters. There's only gonna be a new character button down here at the bottom left. So you're gonna click new character, all right? So this is the first thing you're gonna do. You're gonna choose your, I have a whole video on classes and stuff, so I'm not gonna go over this in this one. So let's just say you're someone, you're like, okay, well, I wanna be a hobbit, all right? So you choose a hobbit for your class. I mean, your class, choose your male or female hobbit, right? And then you're gonna go over here to the other side. You're gonna choose what, these are all the ability characters that a hobbit can play. All right, so let's say you're someone who wants to play, you're new to the game. Again, you can go watch my video. There is a thing behind my screen here that'll explain what the role is and if it's advanced or not kind of thing. They're pretty good on telling you that stuff. So let's say you want to play as a hunter hobbit, right? Okay, so then you're gonna say continue here, use avatar update or whatever. There are little videos play for your race down here in the bottom right and your class in the bottom right videos, but we're not gonna worry about that. We're gonna continue. You're going to say your name up here. So this is going to be test. I wonder, you can't do numbers, so we're just going to be test with a bunch of T's. Okay, so this is going to be our name temporarily for this, or you know, we'll just say we can't do 101. There we go. We're 101. It's our 101 lesson here for newbies. All right, so you choose where you're from. All this matters here on the left is, all this matters over here is basically the Harfoot. Just you choose your background, and all this is really going to do right here is change your eye, hair, and skin colors. All right, on the right side. That's all that's going to do for you. Now you can go through, you can change all of your looks. It's pretty straightforward, right? Of these kind of games, you just can run through and change your looks, change your eye color, change what skin color you want to have, your hair color, right? Choose body type is at the bottom here behind the camera, makes you big or small. So I'm just going to kind of be in the middle there, right? You can also say randomize, which is a button down here as well. But we're not going to worry about that. So there is one called skip new user tutorial. Okay, so if you're a newbie, I don't recommend skipping the new user tutorial, so I'm not going to skip it for you. It's going to talk you through some things that I'm going to talk you through with it. We'll do it a little bit faster here. Again, I will have timestamps down there for hopping through this if you'd like to go to different things. Avatar update visuals, we'll leave that. So create character. All right, that's good. So now you're going to hit enter Middle Earth, the big button right here behind my camera. Okay, so you're going to hit enter Middle Earth, your new character, and you're going to get the beginning of LOTRO. Okay, so now that you've done that, you've choose your server, you've made your character, you are happy, you have a name, you're hoping the class you like. Again, if you're curious about classes, I have a couple of videos on talking you through classes and races, combos and stuff.
While out
so
for
check
a
this out.
nighttime stroll in the Shire, there is a certain unpleasant feeling lingering about. Something on the air is strange tonight. Perhaps it is only the unseasonable chill or the great darkness of this particular evening. But surely it is nothing noteworthy, for this is the Shire, and it is rare indeed for any evil to touch this land.
So here's a new character. Again, so you're brand new, you see the layout, you're like, okay, everything, you know, if you're on a big screen like me, suddenly everything looks really tiny. You're like, okay, well, this is the interface looks weird, or maybe it's a little off. So we're gonna talk about a couple of these things now with settings, okay? So let's talk about these real quick. Again, great intro by Gandalf. Again, if you want to go into systems, you can hit escape. You go into options. I'm actually going to jump to audio first real quick. and I'm just gonna put up the music a little because the music is awesome right now. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. I already have the music just how I want, but we want to talk about sizing, okay? So first things first, I'm gonna tell you a command that you can use in the chat for saving to a file. We will tell you that in a moment, okay? So I'm gonna put to move chat around, okay, here's the first thing. To move chat around, you hold general and you can move it around anywhere in your screen. There's also a small button on the bottom right here that you can expand it with, okay? So those are 2 things to know for newbie, okay? To communicate, real quick, I have a whole video on communication. Again, this is gonna be kind of concise 101 for newbies, okay? So I'm gonna give you less info than I normally would, all right? But I'm gonna still give you good info. So if you wanna just get through and you wanna start the game and wanna know this stuff. So general, you can go into, click this little bubble next to say, and this is how you will move to fellowship, kinship, or output channels and change to world chat to ask questions. Oh, you can't see it, hold on, sorry, it's behind my camera. All right, world chat, all these different chats, okay? When you change those, whatever region you're in, world chat, again, I have a whole video on the chat box. Go watch that for more and more details. But now you know a little bit of background with that, okay? So we're gonna put that chat box there for now. So now we're gonna talk about sizing. It's called UI sizing, okay? For me, I play on a big 2K monitor. I'm recording this in high quality for you guys. You might not have this issue if you're on a 1080 normal screen. It'll probably be sized perfectly, but this is a little small for me. The radar, which is the map up there, is real small. My icon up there is real small. So I'm gonna go into UI settings. I'm gonna drag down here with a little bar here all the way to this point. Now, what I normally like to do is there's a little plus and minus that just scales everything up. I like to, on a 2K monitor, scale it up to 1.3, and now it's a nice size. If you notice, everything's good. The radar is still a little small, so I'm gonna go find the radar, and I'm gonna blow the radar up just a tiny bit more to like 1.5. All right, so there you go. Now your radar is good. Now you might be asking, oh, well, things are messed up, right? Like it's covering my instance finder, right here. So to do that, it is Control backslash. All right, Control backslash. That is the little trick. You press it to make things appear on your screen, okay? So this is the little trick. I always forget the word backslash for some reason, but this basically lets you where you can move panels all around your screen, okay? So this is very, very handy if you're a brand new player, because what you can do is you can actually grab the radar and move it around, right? Isn't that nice? Again, we're gonna work on this message in a second, but I can move stuff around. I can move this around. You can do whatever you want. Whenever you have something that shows up and you don't really like where it is, Control backspace, you move it to where you want it, and then Control backspace, and it locks everything back in, backslash, Control backslash, not backspace, and then it locks everything in. It is the key between Enter and backspace, usually. It's usually between those two on the keyboards. All keyboards are a little different sometimes though, so it's a little bit tricky. It's that one key there. All right, so now that you know that, that's very, very handy for you to know. So now we're gonna move into the next thing. So now you've UI scaled, you move stuff around, you're really happy, you're like, okay, cool. Now I know how to do that. Now what do I do? Okay, so there's a couple other things you want to have immediately done as a new character. I want to show you now that, what we're gonna show you now is that command I promised to show you, which I'm gonna show you how to do right now. This will save the layout on your computer. For example, once you've laid out everything how you like on your computer, you can go onto a new character you make later, type this command, and it will load everything, UI size it how you like, and move everything around how you like. Okay, so it's gonna be slash, all right? You're gonna do / in the chat here on your typing thing, / UI space layout space save the first time you do it. Now you space and put whatever name you will remember. You could just put it as your main character's name. So for example, I'm going to I would just type this, I'd say 101. Again, that's the character's name we just made, right? Okay, so then I'm gonna say enter. And it's gonna say it's saved it to a certain document location. Now, all right, so here's another trick. When you push the thing on there, right, you're just gonna type the exact same command back in. But I'm gonna show you one other thing while we're doing this. Whenever you have just typed something on your chat bar, if you just press the up arrow when you're clicked on it again, when it's flashing that you're on it, it will bring back up, and you can go up a list, whatever you've written since you've been logged in on that character. You log in, it'll erase this info. But now I brought it back up. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove save. You'll type the same command and you'll type load. And what's gonna happen is it'll load Exactly. Now nothing's gonna move, but I'll show you for example. I'm gonna move stuff around with our other command, all right, real quick. Okay, now it's bad, right? So I'm gonna just type that command again, right? UI space /UI space layout space load space, whatever name you gave it. You're not saving it this time. You're loading it, right? You're on a new character, or you're something messed up and you want to get back to your original look. Enter. Look, it put it all back to normal because it remembered it. Again, the instance thing I wanted a little lower too on the radar, right? So I'm using my little Control+Backslash, right? System. All right, good. So now you know, and now I move that and I want it like that. So I'm actually gonna retype the save to that profile to update that profile. All right, now you know that. Great little extra thing to know there. All right, so I'm gonna move this word thing down behind here so it's a little cleaner looking for you right now. And now we're gonna go options. I'm gonna show you a few things that are really, really good for new players to know as well. It's going to be in quick slots, all right? So this is another way. You might want to do quick slots before you do what I just showed you, all right? Just a little disclaimer right here. Just because you might want to add these extra bars. So basically what this is if you do your thing again here, okay, so I'm gonna slow this down. Go to your character, click C, or go down this button down here. Bring up your character panel, all right? Go to skills right here. All right, so we're gonna bring up skills. All right, don't get too confused. I'll do this really slow for you guys. Once you have your skills open, if you notice all these boxes open up, okay? See how all these boxes opened up? These are all extra boxes, and what these are is they're these extra UI boxes. You can actually add more. So basically what you can do is I could say bar number 3 horizontal, right? So basically what happens is it horizontals it if it's not locked, okay? So this is also important. So I'm not gonna dock bar number 3. There's bar number 3, right? It's up there now. See it moving around? So I could put skills up there if I wanted to. But again, I'm just gonna leave it docked because it's a little bit more simple. But there are 2 more here you can get out. You can get out show bar number 5. Oh look, there's bar number 5 and bar number 4. And you can have some more bars and you can turn them sideways if you wanted to or whatever, or you can dock them on there too if you want to just have them all right here. But again, sometimes I like to move them to the side because it's a little too much right in the middle of the screen right there. So that's up to you. But again, what this is for more skills. Now here's another thing that's very handy. So now that you have that, here's your skills. You don't have any new skills. Later they'll just appear. Right now I can organize. So I'm gonna put these map skills, which you won't have these yet. Okay, I have these because my account has a house. These are map house skills. Don't worry about these. And this is like a cosmetic pet, so don't worry about that. Here's what the skills you're gonna have as a hunter. You're gonna have these 4 skills. Again, you can line up however you want. I like a lineup like this, right? So this is just kind of a melee up close skill, and these are your 2 regular skills, which have a charge up for your abilities. Again, I have a little review of every class video if you want to check that out. I'm doing more in-depth ones too now. I've got a couple in-depth videos, one on Brawler, one on Guardian, and Lore Master, and I'll have more in the future. But basically, these abilities will charge up this little charge up thing, and this will appear. But we'll talk about that in combat in a minute. But again, you can drag and drop your abilities anywhere you want from. Again, this is the same ability, so it's going to copy it, right? But so you could just drag and drop them anywhere. Let's not get too confusing. But here's the next important thing I was going to say: the lock quick slot bar. Check this on if you're having troubles with dropping skills off your bar. So for example, you're trying to click it to use it, or you're 1, 2, and 3. If you're someone that likes to click with your mouse to use the ability, you might drop it off and go, oh, where did my ability go? Well, you're gonna need to go into your skills, grab it, and bring it back. But if you lock your quick slot bars, you will not be able to drag it off by mistake, okay? There's what you need to know with that. All right, next thing. UI settings, again, go a little bit up from the UI scaling section. It's right above it. It's called Always Loot All. This is very handy. It's very annoying to have to loot stuff by hand, okay? So again, when you kill a corpse and you right click on it, it's going to give you this option to show you basically, oh, here's all the stuff that's on this guy. A little box will show up. This will basically, when you right click that guy, it'll instantly loot it all and put it into your inventory. Inventory is I, okay? So there's your inventory boxes. Again, I have a bunch of stuff. You will have nothing, okay? It's because I have expansions and stuff. I get all this goodies. Don't worry about that if you're a new player. So always loot all. I like to leave that on, okay? So now here's another thing. Here's the next thing for UI stuff that'll really help you out as a newbie player. You can have multiple boxes like this. Again, I have a couple more slots. That's why I have like a big bag, right? And there are all these bags down here. Well, there's a small gear right here, okay? If you click edit mode, you can actually move stuff around. So if you only want to have 2 bags for organizing, or let's say you want to have everything in 1 bag. I like to have all my slots in 1 bag. So you just left click and drag into your slots here, get them all into 1 bag, right? bring everything in, and then turn the little thing off. Now what's gonna happen is all the other bags should disappear. They're all gonna gray out, and you'll just have one little bag down here in the bottom to click. See down there, I'm clicking a little bag with my mouse. And you can also click I to bring that up. Again, when you also open that, these show up. Again, these are showing up because, again, I told it to show up, all right? So I'm gonna go back into my quick slots, and I'm gonna say always show bar 5 and 4, and I'm gonna turn those off. So now when I open my inventory, it'll only show this. And the reason for that is another little trick. If you have a health pot or something you wanna use and don't have to open your inventory, you can drag and drop it onto your thing. Again, remember, if you're like, why won't it drop on there? You locked your quick slot bars. So you're gonna need to go in options, go into quick slots, go to the top, unlock, and then you'll be able to drop an item or a skill back on your bar. Then you can right click and use it on your bar instead of having to click it in your inventory, okay? And again, that was a one-time use thing, that's why it grayed out, so it disappeared. All right, so I'm gonna lock my quick slot bars, and then let's continue. Now you've got your stuff set up, you have your skills set up, you have your screen nice, everything, you have a save command, so if you make a new character later, you can load out your stuff again, right? So now we're gonna talk about the moving around. So it already talked about it, right? So it's giving us some things down here. First, it told us about the commands of walking. So this is very simple. Again, this is 101 for newbies. So I'm gonna tell you every little detail. So you have W, right, which is forward, S, which is backwards. Again, I have videos on all these things. If you wanna go watch individual quicker videos, I have the on the guide playlist. Just go look at the names, okay? Over, S and D, or excuse me, A and D, will cause you to turn left, right on spot, so you will not move. And then you have left and right, which is E and Q. All right, E, Q, left and right, excuse me, D and A like this. S is backwards, W is forwards, right? Excuse me, not S. Yeah, the other one. You know what I'm saying. So those are your buttons you're gonna use. Again, if you use them in combinations, you can do cool little figure eights and little spins and backwards and stuff. Another more simple one is jump. Jump is a good one. All right, now controlling your screen. This is a hard one for new people that play games like this, okay? It's gonna explain it right here for you, but I'm gonna also explain it for you, okay? So right click, when you right click your mouse, it'll always bring you back to looking straight behind your character, no matter how you are, right click. It'll always flip your character around, not your screen, but your character to where you're going straight, where you're looking your thing. Now, how do you flip this around? How am I rotating? Hold down left mouse button and rotate, right where you move your mouse. That's how you rotate like that, okay? And then what if you want to run while you do this and do it? If you hold down, but without using W, if you don't want to use W, you only want to use your right hand with the mouse right now, you push both mouse buttons down at the same time and move your mouse, and it will keep you behind and it'll rotate you while you walk. Now, granted, how I play the game is I go ahead and use WS to walk. I use hold down left to move my screen so I can do this, right? So again, I'm not moving my mouse, I'm just moving the character while I hold down the left click, so it doesn't cause this effect to happen. You see? All right. Again, just practice. Just do that little combos. Again, right click will always bring you back to behind your character. I mean, it'll be, all right, it'll always flip your character to walk in the correct direction. That's what they're explaining here, okay? So now, we're gonna go ahead and move this way. We're gonna go down here. Again, we have some new ones. Oh, quest rings. It's gonna talk about quest rings. Again, this is why I wanted to do the intro with you guys, because I wanna help you. I know a lot of people don't like reading all these massive amounts of info, so I could tell you a little quicker. All right, so again, these 3 pictures here, shows you 3 different pictures. A normal ring that's glowing fire means it's something that you have ready to turn in. A blue ring with a quill inside it, that means it's a quest you've picked up and you haven't completed yet. And a regular gold ring that's not glowing on fire like this is a quest to pick up. Okay? That's how it works. That's that easy. So now, there's a satchel there, contains stuff. Whenever something's glowing, a corpse or something, or you killed something, you can go and right click it and get stuff out of it. But we're gonna go ahead and talk to him first here, okay? So we're gonna talk, how do you interact with NPCs? You right click them with your mouse, okay? Right click.
Ho there! What's your business on the road?
There's a wonderful little thing if the words are too small for you. For one, you can move it around by, again, like the general tab, you can left click here and move this around like this, okay? You can also bring it down wherever you want. You can also, in the bottom right here, drag to expand this, to have it however you like. I like to leave it down at the bottom like this, as you see in my entertainment playlists like this. And then those words are real small, right? Again, it might not be a problem for you if you're on a 1080 monitor, but for me, it's a problem. So there's this button down here that has these little 2 A's. If you click up arrow, it'll like make it larger. So the words will get larger. So they're not super tiny like they normally defaultly are very small, okay? Again, on my screen, It's a lot smaller. For you, it might be just fine. You might not even care. All right, so continue is how you continue a quest, all right? He's gonna say, you startled me, that's all. And again, in my whole other series, I do voiceovers. There's an odd chill in the air. We'll both feel safer if you come along with me. Do you know how to get to, how to fight? 101? Because our name is 101, get it? All right, here's a satchel I dropped when you startled me. So when I right-click on this...
Inside is a spare weapon. You should loot it for yourself, then equip it to use it.
Then equip it to use it. He's got a voiceover right there, cool. So I'm gonna right-click on it. Now what's gonna happen is normally it would have opened a little box for you and you would have had to right-click each thing to loot it or say loot all. But if you noticed, when I right-clicked it, no box opened, and suddenly those stuff just went in my inventory. If you go into your tab, you can see I have acquired a bow and a knife, right? So now you're gonna go, I'm gonna teach you how to switch gear. So I to open your inventory. Again, you're only gonna have two things, only the bow and knife. You're not gonna have all this other stuff. So just focus on these two items. Click C or go down here to your character, open your character tab. Now you already have some bad equipment on. Here's you can right click it in your inventory to immediately switch it. When you hover an item, it'll explain stuff right there. So it says equipped in orange on the right. It says a dull knife. It has a certain amount of damage, 9 to 5 common damage, 5 to 9 common damage. Again, usually knives that are, in fact, my equipped one is actually better, which is kind of funny. Usually they're better, the one they gave you. So be careful of that. Make sure you know which one is the good one, which one is the bad one, all right? So again, they gave me 2 new items, but these actually aren't as good as the ones I have equipped, which is kind of interesting to me why that is the case. But you know what, we're not gonna worry about that right now. So normally you'd right click and you'd switch it. Oh, excuse me. Where did it go? Oh, I'm sorry. It gave it, I can dual wield. Hunters can dual wield. It was my secondary offhand weapon. Okay, all right, we're good, we're good. So again, now, for example, the bows, I can right click to switch. But again, the bow they just gave us is worse for some reason, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep the bow I had on. Right click will automatically just switch between it. You can also left click, drag, and drop on the right slot for your weapon to switch. Again, we have 2 daggers on now. You can see them both on our hips there. 2 different daggers because we can dual wield, and our bow. Okay, again, all of these different slots, I have a whole thing on character if you want to go watch that video. Otherwise this video will turn into an hour and I don't want it to be that long. So you can watch the whole thing on that. They're pretty simple. If you hover them, they will explain it. Shoulder slot, head slot, back slot, which is usually a cloak. We have a chest armor, we have shoes, we have pants already, that kind of stuff. Okay, jewelry are all buff things, right? You can put on. It's very handy. Okay, so those are the good things to know right off the bat. One thing for you to know, what kind of stats do you want, right? Whatever your stat is, if you hover your stats, these are your 5 main stats, hover them, and whichever one says this is very important to you, that's the stat you want to focus on with items. Whenever you get an item, it says, let's say he's a reward giver and he gives you vitality or agility on 2 different items. As a hunter, you're going to want to focus more for agility, though vitality is also very important to you. So a better thing would be probably to not focus on might and to focus on agility and vitality as a hunter. This will be different for every class, okay? Again, those are your 5 main stats. I have all detailed videos on those too if you want to go watch that. This is 101 for newbies though, so we're gonna stick to that. So now we picked it up, so we finished that part of the quest. So we're gonna right click him again.
Be sure to equip your weapon before we have at it.
He explains
we ought to test your skill in
I
battle.
just explained to you, so we're gonna continue.
Try coming at me.
So now, how to attack a target? You're gonna right click to attack a target, okay? Left click to select and just look at it. Right click to actually use your auto attacks. So I'm starting to use my auto attacks. But now that he's gonna test you, right clicking your auto attacks from ranged as well, but he's a melee, so he's gonna chase us. So it's gonna be hard to use ranged attacks, but we can still use our arrow attacks, see? So we left click or you use 1, 2, 3 on your bars here to use that. All right, so he said good job, right? So again,
did you hear something?
Right click to start attacking.
There.
1, 2, 3, 4, whatever your abilities are, and then later your abilities up here will be control 1, 2. Again, I prefer to left click on the abilities to use them, and then left click on my targets and use this to move around while I'm fighting. Okay, use my WASD keys to move around. All right, that's what I usually like to do. Oh look, it's Frodo and Sam. They're here. Again, this whole beginning is kind of. Read the beginning, you guys, for newbies. Read the lore. The stories are so good in LOTRO because they tie in with the actual stories of the books of Tolkien's works, and they are very enthralling. Why, I've never seen so many hobbits out of bed. Ha, strange, but it is a lovely night for a stroll. Hush, Pippin. What do you mean, strange? Have you ever seen? Mercy, what is that? Uh-oh, and we're stuck. This is because it's a scene. I think we should get off the road at once. It's Frodo. You don't need to tell me that twice. Mr. Frodo, what are you waiting for? I'm coming, Sam. All right, so they run off the road. So this is obviously, this is before, right? And now, stay, halflings. I forgot he is. Where is Baggins? Speak. There are no Bagginses in these parts, sir. So we got a whole cool Wraith moment. Gracious me!
Gracious
you see
me.
that?
Did you see that?
Well, they got a voiceover for that. Sweet. Again, they do a lot of voiceovers for the actual story stuff, but not always. That's why I do voiceovers on Voice of the Rings. I always wanted better voices, and I decided I'd just make voices myself. And we have a lot of fun on this channel together. It's pretty fun. All right, so again, we're gonna do a little more combat here. Again,
you clear the path?
Some things you need to know. We got some cool bagpipe music going on. Tab. Tab is very important for you to know. Tab lets you go through and multi through targets, enemy targets. Again, now I'm going to right click on this. I'm actually, before I right click, I'm just gonna, it will automatically if I use my abilities. So I'm gonna use my abilities here. All right, so I'm gonna kill these. All right, down here, it's gonna explain you just got experience at the bottom. What are the 3 kinds of experience? Well, gold is how far you're in. The bluish is your VIP bonus if you are VIP, the dark blue. The lighter blue is enhanced XP, which you can get from other things and items, and you can buy, and you can also get enhanced XP if you go to your wallet up at the very top there, and you go into this, perks at the bottom of your wallet, right? And it's this top one right here. I can't use it yet because you have to be out of this area. I think you have to be minimum level, I forget what the minimum level is, but you have to be a certain, level 5, I think. Oh no, level 10, excuse me, for this accelerated one. So you have to be 10 first, but you'll get to 10 really fast anyway. But that's what I would use these points for. You earn these as you level up all characters in your account. It's account wide, all right? So let's continue on here now that you know about XP. All right, I'm gonna use that ability. Left click, pew pew. And if you notice, a lot of abilities you can actually run with hunters while you use, which is very fun. All right, I hate spiders. Yes, many people don't like spiders.
Well done. Let's press on now.
You're a bold hobbit, then I... All right. You're a bounder. You're literally a sheriff. How could you not take care of spiders? It's 'cause we're here.
I just need to find the key.
Got it. Again, guys, I have tons more little things I could be showing you, and I have in other videos you can check out. They're not important for you to know right now, and I don't want to overwhelm you anymore info. But again, here comes a target. I use tab to select it. I'm gonna right click it. I'm gonna use my abilities by left clicking or using 1, 2, 3, 4, right, on your keyboard. Boom, we're supposed to defeat a certain amount of spiders. That's our quest over here right now. Again, this is our quest tracker. You could expand that if you want to. He's trying to cut through the webs while I kill spiders. All right. Gonna probably be one more that comes down out of this thing. There it is. Again, another important thing for 101 for you guys to know. Top left, right up here, green is your health bar. If that runs out, you die. Blue is your mana. If that runs out, most of your skills that cost mana aren't gonna be able to be cast. Usually, you don't run out of mana too much in this game if you're playing a melee or like a hunter.
I think we're almost safe.
Usually you run out of mana more if you're a mage, but still, it's not too bad usually. The game is more forgiving on mana usually, LOTRO is. Or, you know, power. It's called power in LOTRO. Morale and power is what it's called. I like to call it mana because most games use that for your energy source. Help, help! Oh no, what happened? Brigands! We're being chased! Gosh, this is a crazy night. Mundun, Sackville, Baggins! Brandybug. What does it look like, you ninny? We are being chased by brigands. Do something about it. Come, let's cut through the farm. We can lock them out. But there are spiders behind the door and a terrible horseman on the road. We only just escaped. There they are. Get them. Brigands, help. All right, anyway, so we got this. Oh, no, they knocked him out. No.
Ouch!
You villains? What do you want with Mundo? Your Mr. Baggins has wanted someone who is lending a great exchange to find him. Again, this is, these guys are from Saruman, right? Because they're looking for Frodo, right? So that's the main thing. Again, I'm actually gonna call it there, you guys. So we will do more in the future. So we have a new character. Again, to log out, you just hit escape. Click the log out button, right? Exit the game. If you do just exit the game, remember with the log out, you have 10 seconds where your character will still stand there, even if you've exited the program like I just did. So that character, my character is still gonna stand there for 10 seconds until he logs out. It'll automatically log me out at that point. But things will attack you and you might be dead and it will send you to the respawn point. In this game, you do not die, you respawn, okay? So you'll be sent to like an Entimote. And that's where you'll be the respawn location in every region and area. So anyway, my friends, I hope that helped you guys out. You have a great day in Middle-earth. There's a little bit of my first video on 101 for newbies. So again, I might do some more on this series. I'll have a tag on the end of this to tell you if it's in the guide playlist that it's 101 for newbies. Again, I was requested this. Thank you for requesting this idea. Thank you to my Patreon. Subscribe button's there. Next episode will be there on the top left. And my LOTRO 10 main content's over there. Don't forget to like and subscribe if this helped you out and I earned it. And you guys have a wonderful day in Middle-earth. And remember, I do all stuff Lord of the Rings in this channel. We just do Tolkien and we do a lot of LOTRO because it's I like to use it as my canvas because it's such a great game. All right, you guys have a great day in Middle-earth.